Welcome back, everyone. I am the Bad Luck Gamer, and we are finally getting done with the Lancer content. I am so sorry that it's taken me so long to get all this just kind of out and done with. Like, it's not even March anymore. I have meant to have a lot of this done much sooner. Unfortunately, it was just one thing after another, and things kept getting pushed back. But now we're here, now we're done, and hopefully we'll be getting back to content as normal soon. By the way, today will be, by the time you're seeing this video, today will be the last day to vote on what game system we'll be doing at the end of this month. So if you want to see a game in particular, or if you want the chance to play a game in particular, hint, hint, check the Discord link down below. I always recruit there first for any of my one-shots or whatever. Please go and vote. But on with the video. So this is the finale for Lancer for now. We've gotten a little bit of a lukewarm, impression of Lancer. Lancer community is not that big, and it's obviously going to be a little bit harder for them to find content on it, especially since, I've only done like a couple of videos, or one video on it and then a couple live streams. Nonetheless, if it does kind of pick up later, or if more people, want something, we might do a little bit more with Lancer. I personally really enjoyed the experience, but this video is going to be about the interviews I had with my players after we did the one-shot, as well as their impressions of the game system and some overall thoughts. You'll hear the questions in the video, so you don't gotta worry about it. And yeah, I just tried to ask as very general questions about the game as I could that would inform you, the audience, the most about whether you should try out Lancer for yourself. So I hope you all enjoy, and once we're done with the interviews, I'll go ahead and give my final thoughts. So, what was your impression of playing? Well, actually, I guess for you, since you have at least some knowledge on it, was this your first time actually playing Lancer, or have you played Lancer before?
No, I have not played. This is the first time. I had done a bunch of looking into like the lore and a bunch of the different frames before because I keep up to date with Kill 6 Billion Demons and I follow the artist on some stuff. So when they started dropping like mech stuff and icon, I got into those as well, just keeping an eye on. Though I didn't really expect to be playing them because sci-fi is kind of a niche most of our fantasy table top players aren't, really into, or at
Okay.
least didn't have on the radar.
Okay. Well, then I guess we can just use the standard fare of questions. What was your impression of Lancer?
Um, I wish it had a better cheat sheet to explain some of the rules a little bit clearer, just for the ease of access. But the game itself, I do enjoy. I don't think the mechanics are intimidating at all once you actually get into it. It's a lot to keep track of, but the like clean, crisp tech aesthetic of like the character sheets and stuff like that make it fun to keep track of. Keeps it from getting too cluttered too. So CompCon's an amazing little resource.
Okay.
Um, and the aesthetic is badass. Who doesn't want to play mechs?
That's fair. Uh, the next question is, what part of the system did you like in particular, as far as like RPG systems are concerned?
I didn't get to really like experiment with it because it's a one shot and it's a license level 3. But I do really like Lancer's mix and match with the mechs and the licenses. So you can have little bits of anything and everything to make your mechs build different from everybody else's. There's just tons of different options. Some a bit more viable than others, but also who gives a fuck about min maxing?
It's fair.
It's just satisfying. You get to build a mech.
Was there any part of this experience that you did not enjoy?
Being crit, but that's it.
That's fair.
The only real issue is it's a learning curve for a new system, so it took us a little while to get into the swing of it. But and as usual, I do have to say, love your openings, Cameron, with the scene setting and the skill challenges through to the actual start.
Oh, okay. Good, good. Um,
Bring me back to the children's campaign just a little.
yeah, I enjoyed a lot that I put into it. I like the voices I had, the different types of radio, and some of the AI. I really wish I could have done a little bit more with AI, but we were just combat was running long. I couldn't
Sorry,
have too much
Devin was
fluff.
styling on you with his filter.
uh, the next question is, what was the kind of role, if any, that you were taking, and do you feel like you were able to accomplish that?
Yeah, whole build for both of the two that I was playing with before I finally settled on the Vlad for this was someone who could tank in the more intimidating method instead of just eating hits, also be a real damage threat if you didn't deal with it. And both the Baylor and the Vlad are very much that. If you let them get away with it, they will hurt you for it. And it worked. They had to focus Big Boy, or else they were going to be in trouble.
That's fair.
Almost worked for him, too.
Fair, fair. And I guess one final question. Would you play this game again on a scale of 1 to 10? How likely would you be to play this game again?
My want is like aesthetically, all of this is really, really been attractive, and I love this, our regular party. So that's it at a 9. More realistically, it's currently still kind of like around a 7. I'm not super used to the system yet. Yeah, I would definitely be down to, and I already have commissioned art because I have a problem.
That's true. It's true. Really
I
do
get
like
too
your
invested.
art. I definitely will show it off in like in its full glory for the video as well. So okay, good. That's all I got. All right. So how was your experience? What was your impression of this of Lancer?
Lancer's fucking really cool. I think the rules for it are really interesting. It's just learning what the actual rules are. But honestly, I think once I understand what like my shit can do, I think the wargamer in me part is gonna click,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm going to have an aptitude for it because honestly, a lot of the shit that's being done is stuff I do in just basic Warhammer matches.
It's
Making
fair.
sure all the measurements are fine, lining shit up with cover and terrain, like all that shit. There's some carryover. I think my very brief introduction of it's both like a TTRPG and a war game kind of mixed together. I think there's some merit to it. Obviously, it's not an exact like description of Lancer, but I think there's some carryover in like my abilities with war games to like this. Just got to learn how my mech pilots.
That's fair. What about this system, like as an RPG system, did you really like about Lancer?
I think the customization it's got is really well done. There's a lot of things you can do, a lot of like ways to make a mech yours, and like purely yours. I think there's a lot of freedom in how it's designed too, where it is like the roleplay stuff's really loose, so you can like make up a lot of really open stories in the world and a lot of easy checks to like set up, and then the missions seem very like easy to also customize as well alongside character creation. I think it's just a really easy system to just fuck with and make purely something that's perfect, like perfect experience for you and your table.
Okay. What about the experience of anything at all did you dislike about the game?
Um, I wouldn't say there's anything I like horribly dislike. Overall, I think it was a really solid experience. There weren't any rules that popped out where I'm like, that ain't good. Yeah, no, I didn't really catch anything I don't like.
Okay. What was the role you were kind of going for, and did you feel that you were able to like live it out?
I felt like I was gonna be a glass cannon crit build, and that's what I did because I kept god rolling.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really got a good crash course.
Your luck was stupid this time around.
That's it
So much
happens.
damage. It
It's
was good.
yeah. Uh but like honestly, because I know we've talked about this a lot, I would put Lancer in like just I guess my little scale of tabletop games like on equal terms with Pathfinder 2e.
Okay.
I feel like I enjoy this as much as the rules for Pathfinder.
That's fair.
This one, I like the setting more because sci-fi is my shit.
Sci-fi. That's fair. I guess that kind of leads into the next question I have then. Would you play Lancer again on a scale of 1 to 10? How likely would you be to play it again?
It depends. If we were just literally discovering Lancer and like trying it out to see if we wanted to do it, 10. I think the system's really fun. I love the setting. I love the character creation. It's all really solid. In the specific instance of what we're doing with like the idea of we had going into like this series concept, I think I'd prefer to keep doing one shots in different systems. But that's because like I don't know, the idea of playing a bunch of new systems to figure out like just try a bunch of new stuff is more appealing than playing one really good system to me. But like,
I mean, like in general, this is not quite. This is a question for the interview.
Oh
like,
yeah, I know.
So
then yeah, it is literally a 10.
A 10.
I think this system is really fun. If standard things not applying, if someone messaged me saying Lancer campaign, I'd be hard pressed to say no.
That's fair. Okay. All right. I think that's all I got for you. So I guess we'll go ahead and get the next person in here. How was your overall experience with how's your first impression with Lancer?
Oh, I honestly enjoyed it mostly because I was playing a character that was just cancer to listen to, which was great for a one shot. But also just I like the goblins play style, especially with like a spotting attached to it. So I always had something to do to help my allies, even though I was pretty much strapped to another mech the whole time. So I had a lot of fun, honestly. Plus, it's very rare that you get to play a character that ruins the lives of enemies that you're fighting.
That's fair. What was something about this system, like as an RPG system, that you really liked?
I think I like a lot about how reactive like a lot of things are. Like everybody can generally like do something with like a reaction or something in a lot of instances. I guess the action economy, honestly. There's a lot of good stuff in it. I think.
Action economy. Okay. What, if anything, do you feel like you disliked or was kind of a negative experience for you?
Enemies being able to rip us out of mechs, but we can't do the same. Rough. But a serious answer. Not anything particularly glaring as of yet, but I've only had a little bit of experience so far.
Okay. What was the role you were overall going for, and did you feel you're able to live up to that?
I was trying to be a support slash buffer slash debuffer, which I think I played that role very well, honestly.
That's fair. Then I guess the last question is, how would you play Lancer again? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to play Lancer again?
I'd say I would. I have a couple other builds that I would like to try out, whether that's the upfront Tortuga bully build or like a swallowtail of some sort. I'd probably rank it like an 8.
Like an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, well, that's all I needed from you.
Sure thing.
Alrighty. So how was your overall experience with Lancer? How was your first impression?
That was really fun.
Really fun?
Yeah.
Okay. What about this system did you like as a tabletop RPG?
For the main thing, I was able to build a mech that literally didn't move the entire fight. And that was my goal. With our the mechs that showed up tonight, there was like variability in a lot of them. Like we had a full hacker mech, a tank mech, a close range gunslinger, a move around the battlefield doesn't get hit one, and then really long range sniper mech that dipped into hacking a bit.
It's fair.
It was fun.
Good. What, if anything, did you dislike about the game, or was a negative experience for you?
I'd probably say how much it gives you for how little your action economy is. Because there were like 3 whole systems in my mech that I didn't get to use, which were just I had 2 drone systems and the ammo box that I had, but mainly because it was, if the fight had gone on longer, I most likely would have used them. But I just had other things that I had to do, or felt like I should have done instead.
That's fair. All right. What role were you overall going for, and did you feel like you were able to live up to that?
Long range support through hacking and like battlefield manipulation, and I felt I did that well. I mean, I did my hacking stuff. I did my main like with the marker light to give Alex a lock on, but he ended up critting anyways because he's Alex.
Yeah.
I made the lad invisible to the melee dude for 1 turn, so he didn't get hit. It was nice. I used my smoke to give Alex cover for a round. So I gave some cover and a soft cover to myself. So I just was in the back invisible the entire time. I felt I did it really well.
Okay. Good. Would you play Lancer again? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to play it again?
10. Maybe an 11.
Maybe an 11. High praise.
It's really fun. It seems to have a lot of replayability with what you can do in this.
No, go ahead.
Different things you can do with each mech frame itself.
It's fair. Okay. Well, I guess that's all I need from you. All right. How was your first impression with Lancer?
Overall, it was really fun and interesting. From the build and setup of the character all the way into combat and interactions.
Okay. So how would you say, like, how much you enjoyed it?
I'd say on a scale, it's about an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? Okay. Pretty good. What about the game as like an RPG system do you really like?
I think customizability is my favorite so far. Just the ability to toy around with so many different features and seemingly endless possibilities for a sci-fi kind of theme setting.
Okay. So you liked a lot of the possibilities, and you liked what the setting could provide for that.
That and the system overall is just very interesting as far as lore goes. It'd be fun to dive into that a bit more.
Okay. What, if anything, you felt like anything you disliked or was like a bit of a negative experience?
Only thing negative was the learning curve because rounds felt like they were taking forever, but that was about it.
Okay. So it was just the process of learning a new system. Do you feel like this game was more difficult or less difficult than other systems to like learn?
I'd say it's about even with quite a few systems out there. There's some tripping points, but once you get used to them, it's pretty easy.
Okay. All right. What was the overall role you were trying to fulfill with your mech, and do you feel like you're able to live up to that?
Role is supposedly support sniper, or mid-range support artillerist, in a sense. And I think I did fulfill that role when luck was ever on my side for damage.
Yeah, you got really unlucky with all your damage rolls. It's very unfortunate.
We'll just blame Alex. He was sopping up all of our good luck.
Yeah, he was. Okay. How would you play Lancer again? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to play Lancer again?
As far as likeliness on the scale, I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. It's definitely high up there on the list. I do enjoy it, and it would be fun to play it again.
Okay, and would you play it again?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it. Guess we're going to go ahead and be done here. All right, so we're all done and dusted with that. Final thoughts on the Lancer system. I personally really like Lancer. I feel like there's not many mech games out there that are really all that good. It depends, obviously. If you're much heavier of a number cruncher wargamer, there are some other mech games out there that might be a little bit more to your tune. Personally, I think Lancer is the best for the general community, as all the mechs feel very good. A lot of them have very defined roles. The way the players can mix and match provide tons and tons of options and opportunities. The way the game is designed and set up in the first place makes it so that you can play Lancer at your own pace. And the missions can be as long as short as you want. If you want your players to level up real quick in the beginning, you can have a bunch of short missions. Or if you want it to take a little bit more time, you can have much more longer in-depth missions. I think this is really good. It lets you as the GM set the pace. And if you're a player, you know, you get the fun of not having to worry about what you're doing, all that experience. A lot of the game is just get in and play. A lot of this stuff is already presented to you. You don't even have to really reach for goals or anything. Like, there's no magic items or anything like that. And while that can be a little sad for some players, if you're a loot player, for instance, I don't feel like Lancer is going to be doing a whole lot for you. But if you're just there for a good experience, for a really good tabletop in general, really fun, want to feel like you get that really good RPG feeling, I feel like Lancer applies to most everyone who plays tabletop. I would say giving this game a score 1 to 10, 1 being I'm not a fan, I think a game needs a lot of work, and 10 being I want to play this game again right now. This is probably my favorite game. I want to put Lancer somewhere in a very strong 7 to 8 range. I would probably say 8, because right now I do want to play the game again. I do think the game has a lot to offer. I do feel like there's some things with the game that are a little hard. There's not as many goals for the players to get other than to get through the missions. Like I said, there's no loot system. The game obviously doesn't really have a crafting system. It's not a very in-depth game. So I feel like if you played the game enough, you would get tired of it after a few years of playing it. And that's why I think it starts off as an 8, and then over the course of time, it'll become a 7. So that's where I'm going to put it. I definitely think this game is a really good one. It's a really good jump into sci-fi. If you want a much more interesting, not super technical kind of sci-fi game, if you like things like Star Trek and everything like that, this might not be the game for you because it's just more actiony. There's more weird stuff going on, and I think it's orientated towards more like the anime crowd. I would say. The game mechanics are really easy to understand, though during the game session we did, take our time getting to learn it. I think that after that first battle, we would have had the combat system much down easier, and you can watch during the game, the turns got faster and faster. And so, while I don't think Lancer is anything groundbreaking as far as like combat pacing is concerned, I think a battle in Lancer takes just as long as a battle in any other tabletop. Still, I think that Lancer has a really good mechanical feel to it, and even for the RP stuff, they cut out a lot of the chaff and make it so that you can get right to the narrative. You don't have to worry about all kinds of contested roles, all weird kind of rules. The DM doesn't even need to really worry about kind of fairness in this situation, because everything is super weighted towards the player's end of the experience. So I would say overall, Lancer is a really good game. 8 out of 10, very solid. It doesn't provide a lot of additional options, but they could release more, and it could just be a solid 8 or even higher. But with that, we're going to go ahead and end this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please leave some comments below stating, what you liked about the game. If you have any questions, we might be able to answer it. Join our Discord, where we talk about all things tabletop, including games like Warhammer 40k, which is more like standard battle minigame, or Lancer, because a lot of us really like Lancer and probably be more than happy to talk about it. So if you want to join our community, please drop down below, check us out, and with that, good luck with your games. Leave the bad luck to me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.